wasn't that spectacular. I mean, when you look back on it, I mean, like anything, it was great then. But people just have this dream about Pepper. It was good for then, you know.
I was very cross that the BBC, in their infinite wisdom, decided to ban some of the tracks, and they wouldn't play it. They wouldn't play A Day in the Life. Why, I don't know. They wouldn't. And they wouldn't play Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds because this rumour went round that it was all connected with drugs, and Lucy in the Sky actually stood for LSD, which wasn't true, and that it was an album which actually was promoting the use of drugs amongst the young. I was aware of them smoking pot. I wasn't aware that they did anything really serious. In fact, I was so innocent that I actually took John up into the roof when he was having an LSD trip, not knowing what it was.
I never took it in the studio. Once I did accidentally. I thought it was taking some uppers. And I was not in a state of handling it, you know, but I took it, and then I just noticed, I said, I'm so scared on the mic, you know. I said, what was it, you know? I said, I feel ill. I thought I felt ill, and it was going, I thought it was going to crack, you know, and then I said, I must get some air, and they all took me upstairs on the roof, and George Martin was looking at me funny, you know. And then it dawned on me, I must have taken acid.
So the only place I could take him to get fresh air was on the roof. And we went up there, and it was a wonderful starry night, and he looked up, went to the edge of the 18-inch parapet, and looked up at the stars and said, aren't they fantastic? And of course, to him, they would have been especially fantastic, I suppose. They were just little stars to me at the time.
Paul, how often have you taken LSD?
4 times.
The man at the time, the newscaster, showed up and said, is it true you've had drugs? And I made a sort of lightning decision. I thought, well, I'm either going to sort of try and bluff this. They're at my door. I can't, you know, go, no, go away. Or I'm just going to tell him. And I thought, sod it, you know. But I did talk to him beforehand, and I said, look, you know what's going to happen here? I'm going to get the blame for telling everyone I take drugs. I said, but you're the people who are going to distribute this thing. I said, I'll tell you. I said, but if you've got any worries about this having an effect on kids, then you don't show it.
Well, do you think you have now encouraged your fans to take drugs?
I don't think it'll make any difference, you know. I don't think my fans are going to take drugs just because I did, you know. But the thing is, that's not the point anyway, you know. I was asked whether I had or not. And then from then on, the whole bit about how far it's going to go and how many people it's going to encourage is up to the newspapers and up to you, you know, on television. I mean, you're spreading this now at this moment. This is going into all the homes, you know, in Britain. And I'd rather it didn't, you know. But you're asking me the question. You want me to be honest. I'll be honest, you know.
I don't know. It just seems strange to me because we'd been trying to get him to take it for about 18 months. And then it just seemed funny that one day he's on the television talking all about it.
The problem was it then gave the press a field day to be on all our cases, you know. I personally didn't think it was any of their business. But, you know, once he said it, you know, whoever said anything in the Beatles, the other 3 had to deal with it, you know, which we did with all love because, you know, we loved each other. But I could have done without it myself.
Now, the point about the whole drug scene was the press asked Paul, have you taken LSD? This is how it all came out. Otherwise, we didn't say a word about it, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just a personal thing, right?
Well, you see, I feel to this day that, you know, we did take certain substances, but never to a great extent at the sessions. You know, we took a little, but whenever we'd overdid our intake, the music we made was absolutely shit. And we'd go home real happy with the tape, and we'd play it when we got home, and you'd play it the next day. And it was just, every time we'd come back to record again, we'd all look at each other and say, well, we have to do that again. Because, you know, it didn't work. It didn't work for the Beatles to be too deranged when making music.